Hey guys, I said I was going to make a video about clean eating, and I'm now doing it. Things have been really crazy with the physical therapy world of my life, but I'm on my lunch break and I wanted to do this really quickly. Now I no longer have enough memory on my phone to do videos, and I can't post videos to groups from my iPhone, so I've got to do all of them at home. So anyways, when I talked about clean eating, a lot of you were on the right track about it. I was really enjoying reading your answers. The one thing that I think is the biggest misconception about clean eating is that you have to eat organic. I think when at all possible, it's nice to eat organic, but if you are on a budget or, you're at a grocery store and like for instance, frequently when I go to the grocery, they're all out of organic bananas, so I don't sweat it. I just buy the regular bananas. And, depending on what kind of fruit or vegetable you're getting, organic isn't really all that necessary because, a lot of fruits and vegetables that you're eating have skins and peels that help protect the fruit that you actually eat from the pesticides and things that they put on the food. So, if you're eating something that has a thick shell, like a pineapple or an avocado or a banana, organic really isn't that big of a deal. So I don't want you to think that if you're not eating organic, you might as well just not do it altogether, because it's definitely not true. So that was really the only thing I saw that was inaccurate on anyone's posts about clean eating. I think the biggest thing for everyone to understand is the importance of why. Why is clean eating, in my opinion, absolutely necessary for anyone who wants to be healthy, for anyone who wants to lose weight, but more importantly, for anyone who has ever dealt with a binge eating disorder or emotional eating disorder. For me, it's non-negotiable because I know, I have that imprinted vision of what my life was like when I wasn't eating clean, okay? And so I see it as an addictive problem for me. Everyone, some people follow different regimens. Like, there's a popular if it fits your macros regimen. And I see a lot of, competition builders follow it, and a lot of fitness models follow it. And I guess, my problem with people who just track their macros and don't worry about what the stuff is that are in the macros. So when I say macros, I mean fat, carb, and protein. So, some people just look at those three things, and that's it. They don't concern themselves with ingredients. They just eat and live by those three principles of, what, on the bigger level, what is in the food. And I just don't agree with that philosophy at all because, the things that are in your food contribute to your behavior in wanting the food, especially if you have a history of, emotional eating disorders. For me, I notice, hands down, a complete difference in how I feel, how I look, how I function when I'm eating clean. And so I don't ever not eat clean anymore. If I'm starving and I need to eat something and all I see is fast food restaurants, I don't eat. And that's just the bottom line. I treat my eating history like an alcoholic would treat a drinking history, And, you have to assess your life on your own merit and on your own experience. But for me, it took a really long time to really come to grips with my problem. So, there are just some non-negotiables that I have, and fast food's one of them. I don't eat fast food ever. Never do I eat anything through a drive-thru. And it's funny because a few weeks ago, Blaine was raving about how he wanted to try Popeye's chicken. And he doesn't eat fast food either, but, he had been such a good sport through all of this competition eating that I thought, I'll surprise him with some chicken fingers and get him some of that. And so I was in Greenwood, I went and did that, and then I had to sit in the car for an hour because of traffic with the smell of fried chicken in my car, and I wanted to strangle somebody. It was just insane. But, what's even more interesting is that when I was ordering it, when I was going through the drive-thru, I felt disgusting. I felt I wouldn't say shameful because I knew it wasn't for me, and, even Blaine doesn't eat eat that stuff ever. But I felt that old Chanel, like, memory. That, you know, it was like that memory of going through a drive-thru, ordering, leaving, eating, going to another drive-thru immediately after, ordering, eating. And it was just like this, you know, it was kind of emotional for me because I realized in that moment how far I'd come in my eating choices. And, you know, when you're in the, you know, a lot of you are starting out in this journey, you know, you're very new to it or you're a few months in. You really have to focus on just being consistent and setting really hard boundaries in the beginning, because you're working to change behavior. So, you know, when it comes to eating, you should never be buying any kind of food item without looking at the label. That's the number one rule of clean eating. You cannot eat clean if you don't know what's in your food. So looking at the ingredient list, you know, how many ingredients are in it in one item? You know, so look, can you pronounce all the ingredients? Are they all natural? Things that you could likely eat on its own, you know? Generally, each item should have like less than 6 or 7 ingredients. Some things are a little different because they have a lot of individual spices, which is fine. Obviously, spices are clean. They're natural. You know, they're all organic, natural things that grow from the earth. So herbs and spices are fine. But you want to look and see what makes up every food item you buy. And, you know, that it gets kind of tedious in the beginning because you're starting out and you don't really know a whole lot. But, you know, the more you do it, the more you begin remembering, oh, well, I know that's clean. I know this is clean. I know that's clean. And you start to remember it and it becomes a habit, okay? You know, it's possible to buy off-brand clean items. You know, it doesn't have to be organic. It doesn't have to be name brand. You just need to look at the label and read it. And honestly, if you're not doing that with every single thing you're buying, you could be sabotaging yourself without even knowing it. You know, hidden sugar is everywhere. You have to read the label. And for me, I don't fool around with sugar. Like, for me, sugar is a very addictive drug, and I don't deal with it. I'm not going to deal with it. If I'm going to eat something with a lot of sugar, it's going to be because I made the choice to, because I was educated in doing it, and, you know, it wasn't on a spur-of-the-moment thing. And I'm going to make another video about that because I think it's important to understand. But, you know, about clean eating, you know, you want to be eating a lot of fresh foods or frozen foods. Frozen foods are fine. A lot of research shows that frozen organic fruit has more nutrient quality than fresh organic fruit, just because of how long it takes to ship things around the world, depending on what fruit you're eating. So, you know, fresh stuff, frozen stuff, good. I'd stay away from canned stuff just because, you know, you have to put stuff in the can to keep it preserved, okay? So, you know, thinking about the quality of your food, the freshness, the nutrient value. You know, don't really concern yourself with calories, because all calories are not the same. Eating 100 calories of spinach is not the same as eating a 100-calorie Nabisco pack. When I see those things, I just want to throw them through the wall. I cannot handle it at all because it's not clean. It's a chemical garbage can, okay? And you need to understand that right now. Calories do not equal health. They don't equal weight loss. They don't equal weight gain. You know, in my opinion, you could eat a very low-calorie diet full of just garbage processed BS and gain weight, okay? You have to think of what you're doing and why. And for me, when I really stopped thinking about weight loss, calorie restriction, when I started focusing on eating for nutrition, eating for performance, okay, my life completely changed from that moment because I realized that eating good stuff isn't a punishment. It's a reward for my body. My body deserves it. And, you know, the quicker you start thinking about it like that, the less pressure you have on yourself about all of this. So, you know, in summary, think about clean eating as eating good food. Not Hamburger Helper, not Bertolli frozen meals, not Hot Pockets. You know, that stuff is just garbage. If you want to have a Hot Pocket, then you need to find a recipe on how to roll the dough, make it whole grain, what to put in it. You can make anything clean. I don't care what it is. Any recipe in this entire world can be made clean. I feel like even a glazed donut could be made clean if you're using the right type of sweetener. and the right type of dough. You know, I mean, you have to get creative, but honestly, it's worth it because, you know, if you've ever struggled with eating out of an emotional frame of mind, you need to completely respect what that does to your life, okay? If you look at all of this as just this, oh, well, I'll do this for 2 or 3 months, I'll lose some weight, I'll feel good, and then when I lose weight, I can go back to that life. That just isn't how it works. I have no intentions of ever going back to where I was because I know what that girl felt like all the time. I know how she treated the people in her life. I know how she treated herself. And you really have to come to grips with what this means for you and what this means for you if you don't do it. Okay? It's not about wearing a size 2. It should be about living longer, seeing your family, spending time with your kids, your grandkids, living a happier, more full life that isn't completely centered around garbage. And, you know, understand that the majority of the people in your life and in this world don't have this frame of mind. And so you're going to feel like an outcast for a while. But then you honestly get to a place where you just don't care. And I really don't care. I do what I do. I know why I do it. I know I'm better off for doing it. And that's just where I end the sentence. Period. So, you know, let me know if you have any questions about that. But in summary, clean eating is eating whole foods, fruits, vegetables, eating grains, eating lean proteins. And like I said, you can make any recipe clean. You know, it doesn't have to be boring. You know, you can make it as exciting as you want to make it. But exciting is going to mean not lazy, okay? And I think in the world of not eating clean, you can have something exciting and be extremely lazy, okay? That's not what this is about. This is about wanting to work for what you want and feeling really good about yourself. So, you know, let me know if you have any questions. I hope that kind of clears things up, but I will be posting another video tonight about my take on food addiction and my take on how sugar contributes to that, okay? And then also talk a little bit about kind of where I came from, because some of you may not know. So let me know if you have any questions.